In the last session, I explained about the input tax credit, eligibility, registered person to take credit, and condition for availment of credit by registered person. In this session, I am going to explain about what are the provisions for apportionment under GST on blocked credit and input on capital goods. The input tax credit eligibility is based on whether the same is used for taxable supplies or zero rated supplies. Taxable supplies ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ zero rated supply ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ input tax credit is eligible, where the goods or services used for both taxable and exempted supply. Only proportionate credit is eligible for registered person. Proportionate credit is eligible. Further, a list of ineligible input tax credit is also provided. The statutory provision is where the goods or services or both are used by the registered person, partly for the purpose of any business and partly for other purpose. The amount of credit shall be restricted to so much of the input credit as attributable to the purpose of his business. ಅವನ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಿದೆಯೋ ಅಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ. ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ಗೆ ಬಳಕೆ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ವೇರ್ ದ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ or services both are used by registered person partly for effecting taxable supply, including zero rated supply under this act, IGST Act, the partly for effecting exempted supply under the said acts, the amount of credit shall be restricted to so much of the input tax credit is attributable to the said taxable supply, including zero rated supply. Zero rated supplies ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗಿದೆಯೋ ಅಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ. ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ಗಾಗಿದ್ದರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಲ್ಲ, ಅಥವಾ ನಾನ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಲ್ಲ ಸಪ್ಲೈಸ್ಗೆ. ದ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಅಂಡರ್ ಸಬ್ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ 2 shall be such as be prescribed and shall include supplies on which the recipient is liable to pay tax on reverse charge basis. ಈ ಎಕ್ಸೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಸಿಪಿಯೆಂಟ್ ಯಾರಿರ್ತಾನೋ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಲಯಬಲ್ ಟು ಪೇ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಬೇಸಿಸಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸನ್ನು ರೆಸಿಪಿಯೆಂಟೇ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ನಾಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಸಬ್ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ 1 ಆಫ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ 16 and ಸಬ್ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ 1 ಆಫ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ 18, input tax credit shall not be available in respect of the following: motor vehicle for transportation of persons having approved seating capacity of not more than 13% ಇದ್ದರೆ, including the driver, except when they are used making the following taxable supplies: for the supply of such motor vehicles, transportation of passengers, imparting training on driving such motor vehicles, vessels and aircraft, except when they are used for making following taxable supplies: ನೌಕೆಗಳು, ವಿಮಾನಗಳು, ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ಯಾಸೆಂಜರ್ಸ್, ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ and navigating such vessels, for service of general insurance, servicing, repair and maintenance so far as related to motor vehicles, vessels or aircrafts. The following supply of goods or services are both food and beverages, outdoor catering, beauty treatment, health services, cosmetic and plastic surgery, leasing, renting or hiring of motor vehicles, vessels or aircraft referred to in the class. Membership of a club, health and fitness center, travel benefit extended to employees on vacation such as leave home travel concession, works contract service when supplied for construction of immovable property other than plant and machinery, except where it is an input service for further supply of work contract service. Goods or services are both received by a taxable person for construction of an immovable property other than plant and machinery on his own account, including when such goods or services are both are used in the course of furtherance of business. Goods or services are both on which tax has been paid under section 10. Goods or services are both received by a non-resident taxable person. Goods or services both used for personal consumption. Goods lost, stolen, destroyed, written off or disposed by a gift or free samples. ಇವುಗಳಿಗೆ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ಅವೈಲಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಇನ್ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಸರ್ಕಮ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಸ್ ನೋಡೋದಾದರೆ, subject to such condition and restrictions as may be prescribed, a person who has applied for registration under the Act within 30 days from the date on which he becomes liable to registration, on registration ಆದ 30 ದಿನಗಳೊಳಗಡೆ which he becomes liable for registration and has been granted such registration, shall be entitled to take credit of input tax. 30 ದಿನಗಳ ನಂತರ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಅವನು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆದಂಥ. ಆವಾಗ ಅವನು it entitled to take input tax credit in respect of input held on stocks and inputs contained in semi-finished or finished goods held in stock on the day immediately preceding the date from which he becomes liable to pay tax under the provision of this Act. A person who takes registration under subsection 3 of section 25 shall be entitled to take credit on input tax in respect of inputs held in stock and inputs contained in semi-finished or finished goods held in stock on the day immediately preceding the date of grant. Registration grant ಆದ ಹಿಂದಿನ ದಿನದಿಂದಲೇ is eligible to get input tax credit. A registered person shall not be entitled to take input tax credit under subsection 1 in respect of any supply of goods or services or both to him after the expiry of 1 year from the date of issue of tax invoice. Tax of invoice ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿ 1 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ನಂತರ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೈರಿ ಡೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದರೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮಿಷನರಿ ಆನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬಿನ್ ಟೇಕನ್, ದ registered person shall pay an amount equal to the input tax credit taken on the said capital goods or plant and machinery, reduced by such percentage points as may be prescribed, or the tax on the transaction value of such capital goods or plant and machinery determined under section 15, whichever is higher ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Where any registered person who has availed of input tax credit opts to pay tax under section 10, or where the goods or services are both supplied by him become wholly exempt, he shall pay an amount by way of debit in the electronic credit ledger or electronic cash ledger. This is the information regarding apportionment of input tax credit and blocked credit. Thank you.